Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast. We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad.
This week, we are sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
We're also sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
This week, we are going to cover a ton of, unfortunately for us and for you guys, but unfortunately for our time span on these episodes, we have a lot of shit to cover this week. There are a lot of things happening in the nerd world right now. Some of those things are Stranger Things, and The Boys.
As well as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Miss Marvel. So we're going to talk about all of those. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into this. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast. Nerd.
Welcome back, friends, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chad, how's your week been, my guy?
Oh, so not great, Cotton. uh, I contracted the COVID.
Oh, yeah. COVID.
That one's still out. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. No, I did. I tested positive for COVID on. Well, I did like the at-home like rapid test Monday morning. Felt like trash. Made me feel even worse because I was at your house the day before.
We escaped it somehow.
Well, it's probably because you were also vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
but I somehow got it.
Yeah.
Beat the living piss out of me.
Yeah.
Only for a few days, though, instead of like a few weeks. So I consider myself lucky there. It's because I'm vaccinated. Go get vaccinated.
That would be the wonders of vaccination.
Yeah. Um, but it still sucked. It was not fun. But feeling better. I still have a cough. Uh, that's really that and like headaches, and if I get slightly warm or slightly cold, I still will like start to sweat regardless. It's really hard to like maintain a comfortable temperature, but like other than that, I'm feeling a lot better. It's been about a week, so
Yeah. And I can see, like, you obviously got out and saw Top Gun 2.
I have not seen Top Gun 2.
For those of you who cannot see this, Chad has a very Miles Teller um, mustache. Conveniently, after everybody got a Miles Teller mustache.
Well, I haven't seen the movie yet, but it's so freaking hot in my apartment.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Miles Teller was so freaking hot, and I was like, yeah, it's
Well, I
Miles
mean,
Teller.
you're not wrong. Uh, yeah, no, my apartment's just on fire. I have an air conditioner. I don't have central air, so I have an air conditioner in my bedroom and in my living room. Both
Mm.
of them are running with like the temperature set to like between 66 and 68. Today, my
Oof.
apartment did not get colder. I say that very loosely. Colder than 79 degrees.
Oof. You should have set it to 69.
Uh, that's a little bit too warm based on the fact that it's still not working. Uh, but I mean 69 is pretty great. Like
It's a great
also,
number.
I mean this is episode 69.
Woo!
Nice.
I
69 is pretty great.
Yeah, sorry, mom. 69 is not great. You have a butthole in both of your noses.
Yeah, but some people like that. I mean just
Gross. Gross. Gross.
sorry, mom.
Gross. Sorry, mom.
If you've never seen South Park, that seems really gratuitous and nasty, but it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Thanks.
Thanks.
But what about you? I mean, with your frozen house.
I mean, it is uncomfortably cold. The rest of the house is fantastic. The basement is uncomfortably cold. I'm very cold right now. My toes are freezing. Sorry.
Wah.
Yeah. No, my week's been a little hard. My dog got hurt, as you know,
Hmm.
a while ago. She's a tripod. She's only got one back leg at the moment, and she injured that back leg, and she has not been able to get up, and do anything. So I literally have to carry her outside, hold her up while she goes to the bathroom, carry her back inside. Our vet appointment is tomorrow, which for you guys will be
A couple days
Monday.
ago.
Yeah, yeah. So tomorrow, Monday, is the vet appointment, and we're got to figure out what the plan is. So hopefully, fingers crossed, good news.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out, but yeah, it's very sad seeing her like this. But other than that, things have been okay.
Yeah. And in the world of nerd, I mean, we're not going to get into it because there's really
We don't
no
know anything
details
about it. Yeah.
except for it's been announced. We're getting a Jon Snow sequel slash spin-off of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. With Kit Harington reprising his role at obviously as Jon Snow. You couldn't do it without him. That would just be dumb.
Unless they jumped decades to where
Eh,
he's an old man, but like that
Who
also
wants to
doesn't
watch
sound
that?
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this could be good. I think we need to see how the House of Dragons plays out. Because if that's garbage, then I don't have high hopes for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, at least with these spin-offs, it's just kind of going off of like source material and conversations with George R. R. Martin
Yeah.
instead
Oh God,
of
he hasn't even written the sequels yet. For He hasn't even finished.
he hasn't
Whatever. Don't get me.
finished the
George
Game of
R. R.
Thrones.
Martin can go. George R. R. Fuck off. Fuck that guy. Thanks for giving us what, like, three books, and then he just fucked off and hasn't done anything since then.
I think the sixth book came out,
Yeah.
or the fifth book, because then how many seasons of Game of Thrones were there? There was
Seven?
eight, seven or eight?
Seven or eight. Seven or eight, yeah. Oh yeah, eight.
The
And then the last season was just really short but long
Yeah, because
episodes.
it
Yeah.
was based off of what the seventh book would be.
Was supposed to be, but he didn't finish the book yet, so they
Yeah,
just
he
winged it.
he released the sixth book like a year after the sixth season came out, and then they just like completely different things at this point in time.
Yeah. He's a
Which
twat.
I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah.
clearly, but
Clear.
that's a thing.
Yeah. Clearly we're not over it.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
anyways.
No, we're not. But we don't want to waste a lot of time because we do have a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and talk about our first sponsor, which is Raise Energy Drinks. It's pickled habanero and garlic. I'm just kidding. Fantastic energy drink.
It's still funny. It's still funny.
It's still funny. No, but they are great energy drinks. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. Just great flavors and so much more than just energy drinks if that's not your thing. I mean,
They're also hot sauce. I mean, you can pour it on anything.
yeah.
Maybe that'll be our thing, is that we get them to collab together
Ooh,
and make a spicy Raise Energy Craig.
spicy energy. You
It's
hear that, Craig?
The title is a work in progress.
Crybaby Rays.
Oh,
It's like
that
Sweet
was
Baby
better.
Rays,
Yeah.
but energy drink and spicy.
Mm,
Anyways,
perfect for your.
listen up, learn how to save 15% on your order, and we'll be right back with you to talk more about all of the nerd shit. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, you nerds. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to start with the Disney Plus shows that are out now, specifically Obi-Wan Kenobi. First off, spoiler warning. If you haven't watched Obi-Wan Kenobi, really anything that we're going to be talking about, once we get to that specific show, pause, watch it, come back.
Yeah.
But we're starting with Obi-Wan Kenobi, so you've got 3 seconds, 2, 1.
You've been warned.
Yeah, your fault now. This episode is really great.
They've all been pretty great.
I love this show.
I think so. With normally we cover like 2 shows. Right now, there's just so much nerd stuff out that we're kind of trying to cover 4 shows in this episode. Yeah. Sorry,
three weekly episodes and an entire season of another show. But yeah,
so we're gonna kind of fly through these a little bit. But Sister 2, we find out not right away, but we find out that Sister 2 is she was a youngling. One of the younglings that Anakin / Darth Vader slaughtered when he was killing young Jedis. Yeah. Obviously he failed with her, but slaughtered because she played dead. Yeah, and we watched all of her friends just get murdered by Anakin Skywalker. And if you remember the scene in, was it the 3rd one?
Yeah,
had to
Revenge
have been the 3rd
of the
one.
Sith.
Yeah. He goes into a room, and there's a bunch of little kids in there. And
he just marches through the temple.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they focused on in the movie was him going into the youngling pre-Padawan stage room.
And just murks them all.
Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Yeah. It just kills them all.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Like...
Emotional trauma. Emotional damage.
I was going to say, wow, way to fuck that one up, friend.
Yeah, it
Give
is. So we find out that Sister 2, who everyone has been hating on, and
she's
which
doing
is dumb.
such a great job. I
now you like her. Now her character is likable. You're like, oh shit, she's a good guy.
I mean, I hate the character because she's just so cold-hearted.
Yeah.
But
only
she
for
portrays
her personal...
it so well.
I was gonna say, but only for her personal gain. She's fine.
Yeah. She just...
You can be a dick if it's for yourself, right?
Sure.
I'm just kidding. No,
if it makes you sleep better.
Oh, I do.
Like a youngling pre-Order 66.
No, you really do. You really do kind of start to like her now in this episode, because you find out that she's not.
You understand her motives.
Yeah, she's hunting Vader. She's not. She's trying to get close to Vader because she wants to kill Vader for killing all of her friends when she was a kid.
Yeah,
it's a nice little twist.
And it's a really great moment, and we'll get to that in a second. But there's a really because now Obi-Wan has kind of opened himself back up to the Force, and he goes to confront Sister 2 or Reva, and is sensing her pain and her everything, just her history through a blast door, and it's like
Mm.
you were there, like this is why you're doing it. It also just the entire episode just shows how powerful Obi-Wan really is when he's not closing himself off to the Force
Yeah.
because of his own personal trauma.
Yeah. When he's not being a baby, he can do cool stuff still.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
But we also get flashbacks
Mhm.
to Obi-Wan training Anakin.
Yeah.
So
And other
we get to see Hayden Christensen. Not to cut you
yeah.
off, but we get to see
Well,
Hayden
no, no, no.
Christensen
I was
as
literally gonna
Anakin.
say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw Hayden Christensen in the at the end of the first episode in like heavy like makeup garb, so you could barely tell it was him as Darth Vader, but it
Yeah.
was Hayden Christensen. So up until now, this past episode, we finally get to see Hayden Christensen
He's
as
the
you know.
one under the actual armor, though. Like, Hayden
I know, yeah, I
Christensen
know,
is actually
but
fucking
this is the
tall.
first time you get to see like him
Yeah.
though. Yeah, yeah.
They
And it's
do
like, yeah,
de-age him a
training
bit.
scenes. They tried.
A bit. They tried.
They
They
tried.
didn't want to, like, overdo it, like what they did with Luke Skywalker and
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett.
I thought that was so good though. They did such a good job in that. They should
Well,
have
it's
done
because
that.
they used a body double and then de-aged and kind of, like, masked his face. This is a
Whatever.
post-production thing. But for this, I mean, they still de-aged Anakin a little bit, to where he looks younger than what he is, but you can definitely tell that he's older than, like, the 19, 20-year-old self that he's trying to portray.
Yeah. He looks like maybe like a 40-year-old trying to
I would say
portray a
he looks
19
like
or
he's
20-year-old.
they made him look like he was like 30ish. He looks like our age.
Fair.
But
Rough, but
it,
fair.
yeah, but it's still great to see Hayden Christensen back as
Yeah. Fantastic.
actual, like, apprentice Padawan Anakin,
Yeah.
and not just behind the mask being the body double, because obviously it's James Earl Jones's voice reprising the role of
Hmm.
Darth Vader. So, like, he's literally just been a body double for most of the show.
Yeah.
So it is really cool to actually get to see Hayden Christensen
Hmm. Hmm.
as
We could
as his
talk about it
face.
for like
Yeah,
20 minutes,
yeah,
but we can't. But we can't.
we
Uh,
can't.
we
But
could.
because of
But
those
we can't.
flashbacks, and they happen throughout the episode, we do learn that Obi-Wan, it's the flashbacks have a purpose.
Hmm.
It's a training exercise that he did with Anakin that he did not retain as an actual lesson.
Yeah.
And it's just Obi-Wan just proving time and time again that on top of being a skilled Jedi, he's a great strategist. He's smart. He understands.
He thinks good.
He y'all, he don't think good and, like, do things good too.
Yeah, it actually is cool because on one hand, like you're saying, they show that Obi-Wan is very intellectual, and but on the other hand, they show that Anakin is very rageful, and
And
in the flashback,
prideful.
he even says like, "Hey man, like you're," and I'm gonna douche this up a little bit because that's what I do. But he's like,
Uh,
hey man, you can't attack from rage. You can't fight out of anger. You have to fight out of peace. You don't want to kill anybody. You just want, and Anakin's like, oh, only if you lose, like blah blah blah, and does some douchey shit. And Obi-Wan's like, now I took your lightsaber and I could kill you.
yeah,
And
because
well,
Anakin literally disarms him during, like, their
yeah,
sparring session, their training
yeah.
session, and he's like, "Stand down, I beat you." And Obi-Wan's like, "You haven't beaten me. Like, there's more ways to fight
Damn it.
than
Damn
without a
it. I was
weapon."
gonna do it. I forgot how to do it. I forgot the wording for it. But right when you said that, I was gonna be like from Batman Begins. You haven't beaten me. You've sacrificed your
Your
footing
footing.
for yeah. And then he just taps the ice and Batman just falls through the ice.
Right.
Literally the same scene.
It's it gives off the same energy,
I
100%.
mean, he literally says that and then just like takes Anakin's lightsaber from him and it was like,
Yeah.
pussy. And he's like, now you'll remain a Padawan until I say so. And then he like
Yeah.
gives him one of these on the shoulder and
Yeah.
walks away. It's like when
Good
if you
game,
ever had a
sport.
yeah, if you ever had a stepdad and they like didn't really like you that much and they just like tap you on the shoulder, that's kind of what it was. I've had one of those.
I
I
have.
also had one for my real dad. It was great. Happy Father's Day, everyone, by the way.
Oh man. Holy shit.
Uh, yeah. It's funny because it's true. And it's yeah. Anyways, you know
And it's
last
sad.
the last dad to consistently tell me that they love me is actually your dad. Your
And
dad tells
he's
me that
not
he loves me
lying.
every time we talk to your dad, he tells me he loves me. When we're done talking, he's like, "Love you, Jake." And I'm just like, "I love you too, Randall."
He he means it too, which is what's great.
The first time he said it, it like blew me away. He's because he said I love you to you, and I was like, oh, that's cute, in my head. And he's like, love you too, Jake, and I was like, a dad said that to me.
That felt real.
Real emotions. What do I do here? I love you, Dad.
Oh, we might have to make merch for that. Just like, I love you, Dad. You know which dad you are.
Oh man.
But like we, fuck. Like what we mentioned though is, to get off of that very real parental. We've used this word a lot. This might be the theme of this episode is trauma.
Trauma.
But to get past that, with the whole Obi-Wan confronting the second sister, calling her out basically for her true motives,
Hmm.
even offers to like work with her to take down Vader. We do get a really cool fight between.
I don't
It's
know if I'd
cool
call
on
it cool.
it's cool
It
on
was cool.
Vader's
It was
part.
cool.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yes.
equal at
She
all.
didn't. She didn't do great. She
No,
tried.
she tried, and it was
Is that
visually
the
stunning.
is that the blue or green ribbon is the participation ribbon?
I think it just depends on what
Yeah.
community center sport you're playing.
It was cute. She tried.
But she does try and fight Vader because obviously Obi-Wan and the new rebellion
Hmm.
escape,
Yeah.
and Vader. I mean, as they're trying, a ship tries to take off, and we see Vader use the Force and just
Hmm.
crush the ship,
Yeah.
throw it to the ground, and then as he is ripping the ship apart with the Force, we realize that the ship is empty, and he's confused, and then the other ship flies off and escapes. And
Fucks off. Yeah.
this has
But like,
Obi Wan, Leia,
Yeah. It was cool, but
Hanji.
like, why? What stopped Vader from just stopping that ship and doing the same thing?
Distraction more than anything, I would assume.
I guess.
I mean, it's not the most soundproof explanation, but
Because like when he first comes in there, the ship is like taking off, and he like stops it and is like, bam. And then he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then the other ship takes off, and he's just like, oh no, what was to stop him
but
from?
that ship took off so much faster that I don't think that they showed it, but
Yeah.
my guess is that it took off from within the atmosphere at
Mhm.
light speed.
Also, side note, I was super hammered last night when I came home. You know this.
Hmm.
And but when we got to the house, I was like, I Nicole drove because she doesn't drink, and I was very drunk, and she opened the garage door, and I literally went like outside of the car, standing in front of the garage door. I was just
That's
like
so
pretending I was
cute.
using.
I say that mockingly, but do you know how many times as I'm going into like Target or any place with, but I do it like waist level.
Nobody sees it.
Yeah,
I see. You gotta do it visible. People gotta see it. It's way funnier.
it is way funnier, but I always like way more than I should as a grown adult. I'm just like, meh.
I didn't think
Mm.
she realized what I was doing, and then today she mentioned it um in front of people, and she's like, and I was like, oh fuck, I did do that. Yeah.
But anyways,
Ew.
so as that second ship gets away, the second sister, Reva, she attacks Vader,
Yeah.
and I mean, Vader definitely wins.
Oh,
She
yeah.
swings her lightsaber, and he's just using the Force to block it, not even using his
It's
lightsaber for most of
literally,
it.
if you've seen the Matrix, the first Matrix movie, when Neo finally becomes the one and he fights Agent Smith with like one hand, it's literally that fight. He just
I don't think
bodies
he
her.
doesn't use his lightsaber once, but when he gets her lightsaber, snaps it in half, and
Well,
then
that was the cool
throws
part is
half of it back to her.
at first she only uses one side of the lightsaber while she's attacking him, and then she opens up the other side like a Darth Maul kind of lightsaber where it's double-ended, is double-sided, if you will. Uh and it also has like a spin feature on it. Uh
Yeah, it's like one of those EDM lights where you just press the button and it spins and like it's like
I was going dildo, but whatever.
oh yeah, that
Uh
we'll
but
we'll get to a very graphic dildo fight in a little bit.
when he gets annoyed with it, he takes it from her, breaks it in half, throws the other half to her, and is like, "Let's go." And it is, short lived. She
Yeah,
gets irked.
yeah, he stabs her,
Yeah,
leaves her to die.
red rocketed her right in the guts, right in the guts.
Red rocket, red rocket.
Got
It's
his
funny
nuts up
because
in her guts.
it's it's a red lightsaber. Nuts up in her guts. Gross. Uh, anyways, she picks up basically a communicator that was dropped by I think his name is Hanji. It's Kumail's character.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that it's Hanji.
nah.
His character basically drops a communicator that Obi-Wan gave to him and has a message from Senator Organa being like, if Vader finds out about the kids, his next stop is going to be Tatooine. And then from there it shows uh kind of keeps switching back between Obi-Wan and like the child Luke.
Mhm.
uh Obi-Wan's like sensing that he's in danger. Luke is sleeping, and it kind of ends on that of Obi-Wan's very aware that there's going to be trouble. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where the episode ends.
But he also he kind of blows it off a little bit because he says like something's wrong, and then um, oh fucking a, I forget who it is, but somebody said like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "It's probably nothing," and then they show Luke like sleeping
Well, I think
on.
that Obi-Wan is just trying to like play coy because he's already caused a lot of issues for
Yeah.
these people, to escape the Empire and kind of force them into a rebellion.
Mm.
I'm sure that we'll get into it. I mean, next week is the finale, or this week
I
is the finale.
It's so annoying that
I'm
it's only six episodes.
It
I'm
makes sense
enjoying the
because the
show
original
thoroughly.
trilogy was only six.
Yeah.
But it did get picked up for a second season, so
I
I'm
know. I
excited for
know.
that as well. But we've spent way too much time talking about this, so let's move on to Miss
That
Marvel.
being said,
Oh, you fucking dick. I've
had
drank
to.
so much of this.
Miss Marvel. Woo, the other Disney one.
I'm
We'll fly
loving
through
this
this one.
show.
We have to.
I'm
We
loving
still
this
have,
show.
yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So
Yeah.
we'll probably touch a little bit more just on like where we were right and wrong with our theories on this.
Mm-hmm. We got
Uh,
to fly through it. We got
yeah.
two, other than this one, we have two more shows we got to talk about. We got it. What are we at for time right now?
We're at like 30 minutes, so we got
Oh, we got this. We got this.
yeah. Right off the bat,
Her
there's
name's
a
her name's
couple
Miss Marvel.
Miss
She's gonna. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Kamala
Sorry.
Khan. But what's really cool is so, I mean, the end of the first episode, she gets grounded,
Mm,
gets in trouble with her parents. She does get
yeah.
permission to go to a party where she meets another gentleman.
That
His
doesn't
name's
seem like
Kamran.
being grounded to me.
No, but she confronted her parents about it, and her mom's like, "We get it, you're," which was a really cool moment because her mom was very strict the first episode, and she's like, "I get it. You're sorry. You messed up. Let's give you a little bit more space. You're growing up. I just want to make sure you're doing the right
Yeah.
things."
Right.
But so she meets a guy named Kamran. But during her conversation with Kamran, not on when she first meets him at the party, but later on, they actually referenced the Eternals, which was a fun nod because the Eternals kind of seems like it's not part of the
Yeah.
MCU except for like
Yeah.
references in that movie.
Yeah. They do reference like the Avengers and stuff like that. But it was cool because well, part of
Yeah,
it is because it's also the person they're referencing is also Kumail Nanjiani,
yeah,
who we were just talking about in the Obi-Wan. But yeah, it's cool because
because they're
it.
both. Sorry, not to cut you off, but
Nope. Yep.
like uh, Miss Marvel. Oh my God, Kamala Khan. She's like a Pakistani immigrant.
Mm,
Loves Bollywood, just the whole culture. So she's talking with Kamran. They're talking about Bollywood and references Kingo
yeah.
and Kingo Senior, which technically are the
Well,
same
but his name
person.
is not Kingo in. His name's Kingo to the Eternals, but his name is something else for his Bollywood name.
No, it's still Kingo because they literally
Was
say
it?
Kingo. Yeah.
Ah, fuck. I fucked it.
They just
Whatever.
give he just has like a family or Kingo is his family name and like
Yeah.
each time he reintroduces himself as the next generation it's like a new
Yeah.
like
It's like
first
his
name.
son of a son of a son. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're like,
Kingo
which
is
one's your
like
favorite? Yeah.
yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, my mom loves Kingo Senior," which
That's what
is
it was. Yeah.
supposed to be like his dad even though it's the same person. And
Yeah.
it's just a nice little nod.
And the funny part about it is for those of you, if any of you haven't seen Eternals, go watch it. But the funny part is Kumail plays how he hides on Earth as an Eternal is as a Bollywood actor, and what he does is because he doesn't age, he plays the great grandfather of himself, the great great grandfather of himself, and then grandfather of himself, father of himself, and through the years he just like plays a younger version of himself that looks. And they say that in excuse me, in Miss Marvel
Yeah, how he
is
looks
she's
the
like
same.
they look exactly alike.
Yeah.
It's because they're the same fucking person.
Yeah, just
It's
one of them
very
has like
funny.
a mustache and one of them
Yeah,
doesn't. But it's just Kingo, the
yeah,
Eternal, just being a Bollywood actor,
yeah.
creating his own like false legacy of never aging.
I think one of the cooler things in this episode is one, we get kind of like a montage, like a almost like a Spider-Man-esque, early Spider-Man-esque
Push it to the
montage,
limit.
yeah, of her learning how to use her powers, which is really cool. And yeah, it was cool.
But
And
it
her,
is very
she's got her
Spider-Man-esque, like you
she's
said.
got her guy in the chair. He's like, "Oh, you should try
Bruno.
this." And
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we don't talk about Bruno, but
Nope, you don't.
sorry, that was a
No,
bad
no,
joke.
no. We don't talk about Bruno, no. Yeah, I love that song.
So,
Anyways.
but but through that montage, we find out that your theory that we talked about last week is true to a degree. We don't have all of the details given to us yet, but like you said, her powers aren't coming from the Bengals. It unlocked her powers.
Hmm. Which kind of gives us that in a kind of a sideways way where the Inhumans had to have, or like X-Men or Inhumans in general, mutants have to have their power unlocked. Also, we see that in Deadpool. Um, you have to unlock their ability. It's not
Yeah,
just, the genome is in them, but you have to unlock it to be able to use it.
yeah,
So this was kind of cool because it did give us something that we were worried they weren't going to give us. Because Chad has mentioned his outrage about like she's not inhuman. This is bullshit.
yeah.
Like blah
They're
blah blah.
because it's not her like body and skin stretching for the
Yeah,
ability,
yeah. But
but
they
the
did
fact that
it in a
it's
more not realistic because obviously it's not
I
realistic.
mean,
But
it's a roundabout way of pleasing the fact that it's from space, it's a cosmic energy, but
mhm,
also she had the ability, or not the ability, but the genome to create the power.
yeah,
And we might see where, when the bangle is no longer attached to her, that she still
yeah.
has the power, and then it's coming from her body just actually
Within
stretching
her.
instead of
Yeah.
like pushing out this cosmic energy. We don't
Yeah.
know much more beyond that, but we do see the Department of Damage Control is now
Mhm,
really trying to like hunt her,
yeah. Yep.
and
Uh
she gets flashes of like her great grandmother that supposedly, well, at one point it is her
oh, I was
great
like, no.
grandmother, but there's a second part where this is where you and I disagree, but I also watched it and I was, you know,
Wrong.
uh, drugged up on cough medicine because it was during my COVID week. But you pointed this out, so go ahead and the second
Yeah.
vision that she
Well,
gets.
the cool part about it, we finally get to see her not be in a panicky like the first episode. She's kind of like panicking. She doesn't really know how to use her powers. Now she's been like fucking with it a little bit, and she like knows how to use it a little bit. A kid like falls out of a window, and she's like, "I'm gonna, I got you, kid. Like, hold on." And she catches him as he's falling, but then she gets distracted by a vision of a female who Chad thinks or thought, I don't know where you stand on it now,
I
that
need to
it
go back and rewatch it after you pointed this out. I haven't, unfortunately, but
he thinks it's her grandmother, envision or like I don't what do I say? Manifesting herself to Kamala, and in this moment, Kamala drops the kid. She does catch him again, but not without injury. He hits the top of a car, screams that his ankle is like broken. So I'll get to that in a minute. But um, actually, I should get to that now because the other part is after.
yeah, a little bit
Uh,
more. Yeah.
the kid, I think on one hand, I think the everybody was videotaping it on their phones. So I think people are going to kind of start turning on her the way that uh, people
Spider
do
Man.
with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that she's going to feel that negative
If
effect
it's
of
not
being a hero.
a super clean save, people are
Yeah,
gonna hate on
then
her for it.
yeah. But at the end of the episode, her boyfriend or whatever he is,
Kamran, they
picks
went
her
out
up.
on like a date or whatever, but
Yeah.
we do see her run from the Department of Damage Control first.
Yeah, yeah. And she's using her powers, which is dope. She's like jumping off of like lights and like going over the cops, and it
Yeah.
was cool when they're like shooting at her and stuff, and she gets in her dude's car. But the girl in the back, when she turns around, there's a lady in the back seat, which I assume is his mom,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what he says, like meet my mother.
But she, in my opinion, from what I saw, she's the person who manifested herself to Kamala, not hit her grandmother. Um, and that's where the episode ended. So we don't know.
Right. And there's not an end credit scene on this episode. There
Nope.
was on the
Well,
first one, but that was just to introduce the Department of Damage Control.
hmm
Or
hmm
not introduce, but like show that they're a part of it. I'm not sure that that's who that was. I'll have to rewatch it, and if I'm
I'll
wrong,
rewatch it too.
I'll admit it next week
Same.
as well.
Yeah. Same.
This episode was
Um,
really great, though.
yeah, it was a
It,
lot of fun.
yeah,
It is a quite a ramp up from the first episode. It took till the end of it, but I think I can kind of like see where it's going. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, yeah, it's getting there. But we also have two more shows to talk about, so we're gonna
Yeah.
move on here. That being said, cheers.
Well, that's the end of this one. So during that sponsor break, I'm gonna refill.
We're gonna go into sponsor number two, which is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It is a 0 calorie, zero sugar, zero crash.
Hot sauce.
Uh, it'll never not be funny, okay, guys?
It's still funny.
You should like play that like in the corner of like the screen, like what we
Put
do.
it
But anyways,
right between.
yeah.
It's still
Uh,
funny.
Crybaby Craig's hot sauce is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything, especially uh,
Raise
plant-based
energy.
ranch, plant-based ranch and pizza. It's
Oh,
delicious.
so good.
Ah.
Aw.
Anyways, check it out, and we will tell you a little bit more about it if you listen up.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, friends. Something that it's a huge nerd thing, and we have not really talked about it too much. Um, and we really should, because as you can see, if you look at Chad's screen there, the black and white bottom, there you go. I
Yes.
also have one.
It's
Mine's
not
out
black
of,
and white. You just can't see
it,
colors.
no,
from
the
here.
frame is black and white. Sorry,
Oh,
that's what I meant.
right.
And mine is out of frame, unfortunately, but it's right above this picture of Michael Rosenbaum, autographed, by the way. But yeah,
the best
we
Lex Luthor.
we met David Harbour, who plays Hopper in Stranger Things. So
I
we're
love
gonna
this
talk about
show.
Stranger Things. Before we start, spoiler alert, and also because we haven't talked about this show at all, we're gonna fly through this entire was
Season.
it 7 episodes? 7 episode season?
Yeah.
Or part one of season 4 or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess the first thing, at the end of the last season, Hopper, David Harbour, dies or seemingly dies. He kind of disappears or disintegrates. But he is alive.
Yeah. And how they go about doing it was, I mean, he basically just yeeted, if you will, himself off of a ledge to not die.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is still alive, and now he's a captive of Mother Russia in the 80s, so before the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And he's basically the Crimson Dynamo. Just kidding. It's Red Guardian, I know.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. There's some there's a couple. I don't want to get too much into it because we really do have to fly through this. But there's some weird parts, like the parts where he like breaks both of his ankles to get out of his shackles,
And then
but
walks.
then like runs from people. And I
That
was like,
too.
no.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I think that they basically he used the shackles to like break the skin on top of his foot so he could like be gross about slipping it off, but Either
still.
way, that's not how it works. Um, but
But
also, like throughout this entire series, anytime the police are involved, like they definitely do not follow the law or police protocol. Like detaining kids, getting
mm,
confessions without like a legal guardian or a
it
lawyer
is
present.
the
You know, or
80s.
I
It was
know,
the 80s.
great show
Uh,
though.
I
Um,
do. I have and I share this with every teenage girl watching this show. Uh, Steve the Hare Harrington. Oh, I love this kid.
he's so great.
He's so
He's my
good.
favorite character.
He's my favorite character.
You
It's
th-
my favorite character.
no,
You pick a different favorite character. Yours can be like,
can it be the bloody and broken version of Steve from like
no,
the end of every season?
no.
No. Winona Ryder. Just kidding. Her character is so annoying and the
Don't
worst.
be silly. No, but no, I don't think her character is annoying. I like Winona.
I love Winona Ryder,
Oh, okay.
but I think that her
I
character.
think
I
I
think that
think
Joyce is just
okay.
a.
In the earlier seasons, yes, she
She
was
was a
very
terrible
neurotic,
helicopter parent
but but she was
this
right
season.
the entire time.
She was.
And I really like her in this season. Like, we're getting off topic.
She
It's
is a
gonna be a
little bit
long
more
episode.
badass.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, when they're flying with the Russian dude, and she's literally like, "Oh, he can't hear us," and she's like sawing fucking dude's like handcuffs off or whatever, and the guy turns around and looks at them, and she's just like, "Dude, it's so funny." I love Joyce this season. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Also,
also
it's
been
cool
through a
that,
lot.
huh?
She's been through a lot.
Oh yeah.
She's probably
And it
been
was
through
a
the most compared to Elle.
And there's like a nice, this is way off topic. We do not have this written down. I'm so sorry. But there's a very nice tie-in to the first season. Because actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait on that because we do have part of that written down. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, Steve is the best, and
But what's your
some
theory about Steve?
huh?
What's your theory about Steve?
He's gonna die.
You
He's
think
gonna
you think
die.
he's finally gonna kick it?
I think here's the thing. Steve the Hare Harrington. I'm gonna call him by his full name every time. Steve the Hare Harrington. Because he's got fantastic hair. Love you,
I'm
kid.
jealous
Yeah.
as I'm
Um,
balding.
he had first of all, they were gonna kill him in the first season. But they loved him so much that they kept him around. And I'm glad that they did. But he even says it in this season. He's like, why am I always the one babysitting? Why am I always the one doing this? When he dives into the water, he's like, no one else is gonna do it, I'll do it. Like he's like,
Mm-hmm.
he literally is like the person who's putting himself out there in like the most danger to protect everybody else. And I
He can
even
wield
with
Mjolnir or
yeah,
Jonathan,
yeah, and like
which is
the
weird.
last season, season three, when he fights Billy, like he gets his ass kicked, and Billy goes inside to like and like slams Lucas up against the wall. Steve comes in and he's like, "I got this." Gets the piss beat out of him, but he always puts himself out there,
Yeah.
and I just think that that's unfortunately gonna bite him in the ass, and I think he's gonna die in the
In
end of this. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They the cast and crew have said publicly that do not get attached to at least two characters in the second part of season four. They're gonna die, and I
And
think
it's
he's one of
that's
them.
only 2 episodes for the second part, and that comes out July 1st.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be one of them. There's some theories, and again, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, fuck off, come back later. But there's a few things that got mentioned. Well, one, he's getting like eaten alive by those mini
They're
pterodactyl things.
parademons. If you're
Yeah.
familiar with Darkseid from the
They
DC
like
universe. Yeah,
I literally thought
they're bats
that
out of hell, if you
I
will.
thought he was gonna die in that episode. I was like, no, no.
Yeah,
They're eating it. They're ripping chunks of his flesh off. I mean, like they're eating him alive. Nancy comes and saves him. And
how do you really feel about Nancy?
I actually no, I never liked Nancy. You liked Nancy
I
up
liked
until no,
Nancy up until like this season
yeah,
because I thought that she was like Steve, like reluctantly thrown into this
yeah.
mix, and I appreciate how intelligent she is, and she brings that element of like
Mm.
looking at it from like an intellectual perspective. But this
But at
season, I think that she's a little annoying. Like I
but
think
at
that
the same
Robin's also
time,
kind of stolen
but
the
at the
spotlight
same
from her.
time, she's like that rich kid who like Jonathan kind of like I don't want to say puts her in her place, but like kind of like puts perspective onto it
Yeah,
where cause she gets fired from her job and she's like, they fired me because I'm a girl. And Jonathan's like, no, they fired you because we've only been working at this place for 2 months. You demanded all this bullshit.
we're
And then
interns.
yeah. And then they were like, fuck this chick. And they fired you. We're interns. We're not even paid. And they fired you for like putting your nose where it shouldn't have been. You're like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, this is bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, it's not. This is typical of you because you grew up where your parents gave you everything. I had to work for this and you just got me fired for my job
Yeah,
because, like, so it's kind of, I don't
yeah.
like, yeah. Whatever. But anyways, Steve's gonna die. I know it. Makes me sad.
That does
Uh,
make me sad.
he got tore up. They were literally eating him. They also go on to make a point, when he bit one of the things and like rips its like skin off and like spits his blood out. Uh, that could do something to him. Um,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
all taking place in the Upside Down during this
yeah,
attack.
yeah.
The Upside Down
So
is like the parallel universe. If we have to explain this to you, you should not be listening because this is season 4.
yeah,
But uh, on top of that, I mean, it did get picked up for a 5th season. Don't know
yeah. I
where
didn't
it's
know
gonna
that.
go.
I thought this was it. I thought this was the last season. I guess I was wrong.
This is according to IMDb. There's going to
Oh,
be a 5th season.
nice.
So there's this wild theory out there, and if this is what actually happens, like we're going to be upset because it kind of eliminates the importance of everything that's happened. This is not my theory, but it's just something that I've heard and read. But if they do this, they can do it in a way that still makes sense for the show without destroying everything. Um, the theory that I heard was that this is all just like flashbacks of like a D&D campaign because we know
That would
that Dungeons and Dragons
piss
has
me
kind of
off.
been a running theme throughout, and now it's just like the all the kids are all grown up. They
Yeah.
play D&D together because it's something that they bonded over, and like these things that have happened in their childhood, like the mall burning down, random people dying under mysterious circumstances, they incorporate that into their D&D campaign
No. I would
and
be
make it
so pissed.
fantastical. That would
No.
be such a cop out. I agree.
I would
But if they wanted
fucking
to go with like an It Part 2 where they're all adults and they come back together after years and Hawkins is still like cursed and the Upside Down is still like causing an issue,
yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Because they do reference Derry, which is the town from it, in Stranger Things season
2?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, with
Sean
help me out
Astin.
here. Sean Astin.
Yeah.
He mentions to
Samwise.
Will. Yeah, yeah, Samwise the Brave. He mentions to Will that where he's from, Derry, that there was a clown that used to like haunt his dreams, which is a direct reference to
Pennywise.
it, Pennywise from
Hmm.
the It movies, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, anyways, I would be pissed if they fucking do that.
I hope they don't. I hope that that theory is wrong. but I would be okay with kind of like an It Part 2 esque with like
It would
grown
be
ups
cool, but
coming
I think
back.
I want to see. Here's the thing: if they do that, I want to see the. I still want to see the kids that are playing the roles. I don't
Yeah.
want it to be different actors.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
like, 5 to 10 years from
yeah,
now, like in the timeline where they're like college, recently
yeah.
graduated from college. Because
It's gonna be really hard for them to hide Lucas as and like make him a kid because this season he is just a full grown man.
yeah.
He's just got like huge
Also,
muscles.
Millie Bobby Brown is no. They even tried to de-age her in this season for like small
Yeah.
parts, and it looks nothing like her anymore.
Well, no, the girl who plays like the younger version of her,
Yeah.
that's a different person. There's a girl who plays her,
Yeah,
but they
well,
use her face. Yeah,
yeah, but like we met Millie Bobby Brown when she was
yeah,
11, like
yeah.
11 years old, 11 or
Mhm.
12, as a child in this show.
Yeah,
So just work with it.
yeah,
If you have to jump ahead in the timeline, that's no one's going to be mad about that. It doesn't have to be like every 6 to 8 months that a new tragedy happens.
yeah.
They can move on with their lives, and then another tragedy happens, and that forces them back together because they're very good at writing 3 or 4 storylines, and then they
Mhm.
merge. Keep that going.
Um,
Just like jump ahead in time so it makes sense for the age of the actors.
Last thing before we jump into our last nerd thing is I didn't know this right away, and you didn't either. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl who plays Robin, and she is Steve's kind of counterpart from season three. Um,
Yeah.
uh, she plays uh a lesbian. I don't know if that's the right vernacular to use for that.
Well, she hasn't.
She's
They haven't officially like came out as saying that she's 100% lesbian.
just
But
gay.
they're just kind of like avoiding putting those
Yeah,
labels because also it's the 80s. So like,
yeah. Hmm.
same with
Hmm.
Will, who is
I
very
don't want to.
much
Yeah.
not
Yes.
a straight character.
Has a crush on the main.
Mike,
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Um,
but
but she she looked so familiar, and I could not figure it out. I looked her up. We looked her up separately, which
yeah,
is really funny because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so familiar. She is the daughter of Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill, like various uh
and
movies,
Ethan Hawke.
and Ethan Hawke, who just played Harrow in the Moon Knight series. He was the bad guy in the Moon Knight series that we just talked about, not even like weeks ago.
Yeah, and
That's their
so many
daughter,
things.
and she looks like both of them. She looks. I looked at a picture of her and Uma Thurman, and I was like, oh my God, she looks exactly like her mom. And then like 2 days later, I found out that Ethan Hawke was her dad, and I was like, what? And I looked it up, and there's a picture of them side by side, and I was like, oh my God, she looks just like her dad. Like,
That's how. I mean, not to sound condescending. That's how genetics work. But
yeah,
like, it's scary how when you look her and her mom side by side, you're like, wow, they look so
yeah,
much alike. And then you look
exactly alike.
her and her dad side by side, and you're like, wow, they look
Exactly alike.
so much alike.
Yeah. She
Like
actually
she
even
is like
looks
the perfect
like,
blend
yeah,
of
it
her
is
parents.
fucking crazy. Yeah. I should have known because her last name is Hawk.
Right.
But
That
yeah.
was the thing. I was like, oh, Ethan Hawke, and then I like looked it up and was like, and Uma Thurman, and then I looked and I was like, fuck yeah, I can see that. Like more than you would expect. Like that's 100% their kid. But
Moving on. We gotta move on.
she's fantastic in the show.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
she's hilarious.
but
We gotta move.
duh boys,
The boys.
duh
The
boys.
boys. Fucking holy shit. All right, so where we left it last week,
Kimiko
Kimiko
got
is
blasted by Soldier Boy.
fucked up. She got
She
I
ain't
was gonna
healing
go,
no more.
yeah, she ain't healing no more. And that leads to a theory
Yeah,
that we expressed last week.
that you
Last week?
expressed. Don't lump me into you being wrong.
I was like kind of right, and you
Right,
didn't have
and
any theories,
I
so
didn't.
shut up.
I just thought that it was
Shut up.
he was more powerful, and that's why she wasn't healing.
I thought, I thought originally that Soldier Boy took Kimiko's power because after he hits her with the nuclear blast out of his chest, they do show him like standing there, like, and it looks like he's kind of absorbing. But I think what actually is happening is that because of the nuclear like blast that comes out of him, he's canceling out because V20 or not even V24, sorry,
Compound V.
the compound V is a drug that the soups have been given since they were kids. I think now, or we think now, because we're on the same page now,
Yeah,
that he is able to cancel out
because of the
the compound
radiation that he produced.
can't yeah, he cancels the drug out of their system, which is why Kimiko wasn't healing, and this is why he would be a weapon to take out Homelander, is because he could kill the drug in his system and just make him a man,
Yeah,
and then he
and
could get fucked up
yeah, and I mean that's also the reason,
theoretically.
like the radiation burning it out of their systems uh, makes sense because that's a way that they track Soldier Boy once they find out that he made it back to the
Hmm.
states, which happens
Yeah,
in this episode.
he also
Is that
killed a bunch of people.
they use
Like,
like Geiger counters because he
yeah,
puts off a radioactive signal. So they have an idea as to where he's heading and have a Geiger counter, and as he gets close, it starts to like read, there's radioactive material nearby.
mm,
Uh, but back to Kimiko, the girl, the female, whatever you want to
yeah,
call her,
yeah,
because she's known by multiple names at this point in time through the
hmm.
comics, the show. Um, she's actually very happy that she's not healing.
Well, yeah, because she's been, I mean, this whole season, she's like, I never got to experience this. This is a curse. Why would
Yeah,
you want
even
this
that
power? Yeah.
interaction with her and Ryan, which is Homelander and Butcher's late wife's
Mm,
child, when they're talking about having powers, she's like, "Yeah, this is a curse.
mm.
Like, I didn't want this. It it's
Happened to me,
terrible."
you know.
So when she can't lift anything that's super heavy because she's
Oh, yeah.
hurt
She's like,
and
hand me that. And
and
Frenchie like
she's
hands her something and she's like,
petite.
oh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Messed up.
she's smiling, she's happy. And then
Yeah.
we saw it even in the first episode where, like imagines herself singing along to the music.
Hmm.
But we get a full-blown musical number, which
Yeah.
it
I
happens
just,
in almost every it happens in like
oh,
every sitcom.
it's so annoying. Stop it.
But what's
Stop.
cool about this, I agree, like don't add musical numbers just for the sake of like following a trend. But what is cool is that it is
Her
Karen
voice.
Fukuhara that is
Yeah.
singing, which who
She's,
plays Kimiko.
yeah. She's got a beautiful voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good because I had to look it up because obviously when you're watching it like happen on screen, you're like, oh, it looks like she's lip syncing.
Hmm.
But I was like, but she's like it's shown her singing in more than one episode now. Like, is this real?
Hmm.
So I had to look it up, and it is actually her singing.
Yeah.
It's just obviously it's pre-tracked for audio
Yeah.
reasons, but
We also get our second Seth Rogen cameo, who is
wait, this is
big
our second one. When?
second, yeah, he was in the first season.
Oh, it's been so long. I guess I
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
yeah. This is our second Seth Rogen cameo, and it's a little weird. A little weird.
He's a fucking perv.
He's jerking off to
The Crimson
Soldier Boy, tell
Dynamo.
him. Yeah.
Uh,
Soldier Boy's
Crimson
she,
something.
she's
Uh,
basically got like a OnlyFans
yeah.
page.
So we see like Seth Rogen just being kind of creepy, just like following her
Well,
with
he's like butt naked and like whacking off.
yeah, like
Yeah.
just full on just jerking it, and like she has like toys out.
She has some anal beads that she's
Yeah,
heating up over a candle. She's like,
yeah.
"Ooh, let me warm these up before I put them in." And he's like, "Oh yeah,
Drop that spandex. We
yeah,
even seem like pump lotion
oh yeah,
because it's very much like a webcam.
yeah." And
It
it's
it's
this.
it's not.
I have to bring this up because Seth Rogen is in this movie with Charlize Theron,
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 Charlize Theron,
which
Char-
and
Charlie Theron. I don't know. It's
she
I've heard her name like a
she
thousand different
plays
ways.
like a
Politician.
politician of some sort, and they know each other from when they were kids, and they start dating. Anyways, blah 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 blah. Fast forward. Uh, they start dating, and he jerks off to her, one of her like campaign videos, and somebody hacks his computer, and it's literally the same scene. He's literally in front of his laptop, like jerking off. The only difference is in the movie's called The Long Shot. Uh, he jizzes on his own face by accident, and everybody that knows her and knows him as her like boyfriend starts calling him the cum guy. Like, oh my God, look, there's the cum guy. So in the boys,
Duh boys.
I'm just gonna call him the cum guy from now on.
Yeah,
So
it's literally just like a cameo, but like
yeah,
if you know, you know because he's an executive producer. He like helped get this show off the ground because he
yeah.
loved the comics. Fucking hilarious. But his cameos are always like, gratuitous.
Let's see what else happened. Frenchie gets kidnapped.
He does because basically Butcher sets them up the last episode, kind of like what we talked about, with Nina, who Frenchie
Mhm.
and Butcher used to work for, to do a job so that they can go and find Soldier Boy.
Mhm.
But
Tell him.
uh, it's
Still funny.
it, it is still funny. So
I'm so
Nina
sorry.
Nina comes to Frenchie and is like, "Hey, yeah, you still work for me. You have to kill these people. You have until the end of the day."
Mhm.
And he just ignores it. He's like, "I'm not going to do it."
No.
And there's actually a very sweet moment between him and Kimiko. Like
They kiss.
they
They
kiss.
finally kiss.
Yeah, there's been a lot of tension between that, and they finally kiss. And he doesn't know how to process it. He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna go get us a snack. You want a snack?" And then
And she smiles about it, like she's like,
yeah,
"Yes,
yeah,
I
like
did."
she's happy.
Yeah.
It's
And then they
one
ruin
of
it by
the few times
kidnapping him.
that we actually see her happy as well, just like with circumstances, especially because she's in a hospital.
Mm.
But he gets kidnapped, which is unfortunate, but we'll see where that goes in the future
Yeah.
episodes because that's kind of where his story ends. But we see Butcher getting more temporary V from Maeve.
Oh yeah, Maeve.
They fuck. They do.
Who do
They
you
fuck.
who do you think's the who's the most attractive female on the show for you?
Oh man. Kimiko.
Ah, dang! I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, me too. She's cute. Yeah.
But Maeve and Butcher hook up. Uh, we also
He
get some.
booked her. He booked her
Oi,
hard.
oi!
Yeah.
Fucked her
He's
hard,
like,
mate.
"Oi,
Yeah.
show me your cunt." And then he
Oh man.
fucked
Oh,
it.
that
What?
happened.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No. He's
Okay.
Australian. That's fine. Is he Australian? I don't know what he is.
Yeah, he's from the Commonwealth, if you will.
Hmm.
He's
The,
Australian,
the
Indian, or New Zealander.
the Commonwealth.
Moving on.
Do
He
you think
gets.
they use the condom? I don't think they use the condom.
I, you want to go there right now? We can debate this because it does not show it, but
It's anyways. I'm just being weird because I
yeah,
want to be.
yeah,
I'm literally trying to make this awkward.
you mission successful. Um,
That's what he said after he finished.
but he gets more temp V24. I'm just trying, man. I fucking can't. Uh,
Yeah.
I was wrong about Huey, with his temp V powers. It's not, he doesn't become like Ant-Man or the Tick as they show, or as they
He
mentioned earlier in
teleports
the show. He actually teleports. He just can't bring his
right
clothes with him.
right out of his britches.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But Huey does take more compound V in this
And
episode.
it creates problems with Starlight.
Whatever.
But we'll see. But we also get to see Soldier Boy goes and kills the
Tell him.
Crimson the Crimson girlfriend. Burns her to a crisp.
Yep.
And Butcher's like, hey, we're the ones that freed you from Russia.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Butcher drugs
MM
MM.
Marvin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mother's Milk is what MM stands for.
Yeah.
I don't know
He
why.
drugged him.
But
Because he's huge.
yeah, but Mother's Milk?
I
Just
don't know. Do you grow big up mom milk? I don't know.
booby milk? I don't maybe.
I don't know.
But what are you laughing about? Could you
Just like we're both just like I thought I knew the answer. I'm like, oh, it's because this, and we're both just like, I don't know.
Anyways, that all happens. Drugs MM because he hates Soldier Boy because he killed his dad and like
But
his family.
But the boys need Soldier Boy,
Yeah,
and MM wants to fucking kill Soldier Boy,
End him.
which I
Yeah.
don't think how he would.
Because MM refuses to take the temp V or V24.
V24.
They kind of refer to it as both
Yeah.
in these
But they
past
do-
couple episodes.
But there's like a scene at the end, basically, where Starlight's like, "Hey, man," to Huey, and she's like, "You gotta stop.
Yeah,
You come
don't-
with me."
don't
come
go
with
with
me.
Butcher.
Yeah, and Butcher's like, "Oi, Huey,
Yeah.
cunt."
Oi, cunt!
He didn't call him a cunt, but he's like, "Oi,
could've.
Huey," and Huey's like, I know you don't want me to do this, but I have to save you from Homelander,
Mhm.
and that's what I'm gonna do, whether you want me to or not. And he goes with Butcher. So,
Yeah.
and that's where we're left with the boys. Fuck,
We
this
skipped.
show's
We,
so good.
we skipped a lot, but
Yeah, we're already. What's that time at right now?
enough. Uh,
Like an hour and a half.
hour and 15.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I mean, there's
With editing, it'll
yeah,
come down.
well, yeah, but we still have to close this out. But there is some shit with Maeve that we skipped over.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Go
not
ahead,
going to
go
get
ahead.
into it, but
She gets kidnapped or headbutted by.
or dead by
I don't think she's dead. She gets headbutted by
Black Noir,
Black Noir. Yeah.
and but Homelander is behind it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cut that shit. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh. Oh.
Oi! Cut!
But yeah, I mean, with that being said, Jake,
Cheers, mate.
we are going to go ahead and close out this episode.
But before we do, we are going to close out this episode. As always, go check out our. It's not Patreon. Is it still Patreon?
We still have our Patreon page. It's
Okay.
I believe it's patreon.com/, all things nerd podcast. If you like what we're doing and you want to support us, it's a great way to give monthly and get exclusive merch, exclusive like colors for the T-shirt,
Hmm.
uh, larger stickers, as well as once we get a few more people on there, we'll do like a group me or like some sort of group chat where you get behind the scenes
Hmm.
access to talk to us regularly. Also, we have our new website. It's just allthingsnerdpodcast.com. But it has our new web store on there. We're still in the process of transferring over some merch,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you like our exclusive like Pride Month, every few months we're also going to be picking a new uh, charity to donate to. So if you
Hmm.
don't even want merch, but you want to support the stuff that we support, that's a great way to do it. That's all there. But what's coming up, Jake?
July 2nd, the day our buttholes will never be the same. Uh,
I'm sure July 3rd will be the day our buttholes will never be the same.
we invested for some reason in the hot ones challenge, and we bought all of the hot sauce from the season 16 hot ones YouTube channel. Hold on, there's still more.
Yeah,
That
the
one,
from
that one's a
first
little,
we feast.
that was a little scary.
Yeah, there's a few
uh,
of them that are scary.
yeah. So July 2nd, we are going to be uh, eating some vegan wings with all of these hot sauces and burning our mouths and later our buttholes with these hot sauces.
Yeah.
I we're gonna have to do like probably in my garage, honestly, because my girlfriend is gonna join us for that one. I believe her brother is joining us for that as well.
Okay.
Uh, you and myself. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
But
And we'll
if you
it's gonna
follow
be a
us on
live stream.
if you're gonna
Uh,
follow us on Facebook or Instagram, we'll be posting to both of those because we're
are,
gonna be doing at least 13, maybe 14. Because there's 10, right?
there's
There's
10,
10 of them,
but we're
so
gonna add
11,
Crybaby
11 or
Craig's
12, I guess.
yeah.
We'll for sure add Crybaby Craig's to the
And then
mix.
my uncle also makes a hot sauce called
Homemade hot sauce.
Deo's Daring Sauce.
And
So
it's
we're gonna
spicy, man.
it's spicy. Yeah, it's a
It's
weary pepper. It's from
yeah,
Guyana. It's very, very hot. Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll do one of those as well. I don't know where to place those on the scale of
We
whatever, but
we might dairy probably like fourth or fifth. Uh
what'd you call it?
the weary pepper, the
I thought you
daring
called it. Oh, I thought you
dairy.
said dairy.
I
I was
did,
thinking,
but I combined the two. That'll be somewhere in the middle. The
yeah,
Crybaby
okay.
Craig's is delicious, but it's a very mild hot sauce.
Yeah, it's
So
not
that'll
very spicy.
be we'll probably do that one first, just
Mm,
to kick it all off. But if you follow
mm,
us on Facebook or Instagram, and there's questions that you want to ask us about anything, fan castings, theories, just general questions for us as podcast hosts.
yeah,
And like reply to those, ask us questions. We're gonna take the first 12 questions that don't
yeah.
overlap,
One for
and
each bottle. Yeah, we'll take as many
yeah, so
questions.
we'll do
Yeah.
that, and we'll do it live, and we'll also answer questions like in between.
Yeah.
But that's kind of we're gonna try and do it as true to the Hot Ones challenge as possible, where we're answering questions about stuff.
Hashtag Sean Evans.
Hopefully, he sees it.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Anyways, uh, we love you guys again. Thanks for letting us do what we do.
For
And
69 full weeks.
Did you pour your thing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pour mine. Oh yeah, I did. Okay.
Oh.
I'm an idiot.
Well,
Uh, you go.
we love you guys, and thank you for letting us do what we do. Can't wait to see more of you. And this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.
Bam.